Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is the 25th. Oh man, these new headphones, I can't do it. I can't do it. It doesn't sound right. I would rather have hearing only out of one ear than I would to listen to that. They're not. Oh, it's so weird. It's weird. It's kind of like the bass is weird. It's just not tight. These HDJs are so much better. Let me tell you what. We're just gonna listen to ourselves out of one ear. Anyways, actually, it sounds like they fixed somehow. Oh man. Okay, well, anyways, guys, Gamestop is like taking off again today. So come in here right away off of that. You can see they were at 50 yesterday. They had a pretty good run into the close, and then in the overnight they were as high as 200 about. So yeah, that one's running off. I have no intention of playing it right now. Remember, folks. Wait, why am I over here? Over here, GameStop. There's GameStop. Okay, remember, guys, the first trade is usually the best trade. And I think we're going to talk a lot about that today. But so this GameStop thing, it's running off. If I was already in, I would be looking for it to take off on the open and then get out. But since I'm not in it and it's already gone off, I think I want to just kind of sit and see what it does, because everybody's all talking like, now we're going to go to 10,000, and I don't see it. The shorts have covered. So anyways, to the charts here, the big thing I want to point out, first of all, is that the 10-year Treasury is down lower, much lower. Yesterday, we had quite a bit of a reprieve, and it really helped the equities out. And the whole thing about, Powell is, what is the word? Committed to not raising rates. But the issue with that is that the market is seeing that they might not have a choice. So the E-mini had a really great run yesterday, but it is coming back. And with that rise in yields, you kind of have to wonder. And in particular, I would know, coming back over here on my watch list, ARK down 2.5%, Tesla down 3.25%, Apple down 0.75%. Even some of my smaller names like Sumo down pre-market, Palantir down 2%. Like the growth stocks are not handling this well at all. And that move down in ARK in particular is even more than it was on Tuesday. So that's the kind of environment, and I think that gives us a strong game plan for today. Oil up to new highs yesterday, and here again, the supply constraints and the increasing demand looks really bullish for oil, and it just keeps going. Gold, on the other hand, took a little bit of it keeps getting these like dips and then comes back up sort of a thing around 1800, but this overnight is now dipped below 1800 again and is struggling. Meanwhile, silver, once again, continues to hold. I get to tell you what, I really think if the Redditors came in on silver there, that you can see some crazy stuff. But I don't know if they're ever going to do it because they're too interested in GameStop all the time. Copper, it's just wonderful. Copper is starting to get to like this. There's maybe some problems with this kind of levels though. So, and the dollar a little bit lower, which is why I'm kind of surprised that gold is not doing so well today. But the rising yields is really hurting gold. It's really hurting it. So That's kind of where we're at. How are you guys? Let's come in here and start the text-to-speech reader, just in case. Maybe if you type, well, here, I'll type it for you guys so that you can see what it says. You don't have to type it yourself because it will just post it in the channel, and you can use accents, which is always fun. I sold off at 47 and bought at 55. Oh, you bought about 55. Yeah. Oh man, that hurts, Robert. Good morning, Bill. Is that no? No. I don't know if it's a different Bill. We've had people named Bill in our chat from time to time. Okay, and I am trying my robots here. One of them already died, huh? Well, let's come back to the output and see why happened. Collection was modified. Our enumeration operation may not execute. Really? Is it because I'm running two of them at the same time? That couldn't be. No. Maybe I can really only run one of them at a time. Well, I don't know. I got a new algorithm called Gabby on today. So we'll watch what Gabby does. See if she gives us any good signals. Oh no, the sound, it's going. I can hear it going. Come back. Oh, it's okay. We just won't be able to hear out of one ear. It's okay. Okay, now we do get some numbers here in like 10 seconds. So let's look at this. Let's see here. Initial claims are looking for a reading of 838K. So let's see what it comes in at. Treasuries resume slide after 500,000 DV01 Ultra 10 years futures block. Okay, so there was the move. It was a little bit down. That sound is indicating that there were gaps. So I'm glad that that works. What's the number? Somebody got the number. Okay, initial claim 730K lower than forecast. That's good. Even though the move was down. Durable good orders 3.4% versus an expected 1.1%. So these numbers are good.
Winston's mom says, accent German fin to the traders watching now. Speculator Seth has a thing for the sexy German female boat voice if you want to catch his attention. Danke, please hit the like button.
Oh, thank you so much. This is great. No, it worked. I just have to click the button. You didn't have to post it 3 times. Okay. Well, these numbers look good. The issue is that the positioning on the market is down because of the treasuries. The treasuries, are the treasuries going to pull back because of that? Well, they're pulling back right now. Public space, hey, how are you? How are you? I wish I knew what it was that makes it short out on me, but maybe hopefully we'll get the new court today. Yeah, the durable goods is really strong. And this Gamestop thing is just going to be a little while. The other thing is you still got this risk parity thing going on, right? So if GameStop does move up, and then you might get the Amazon and Apple's move down. Do I not have Amazon on my watch list? Oh, we should add it. Edit watch list. Amazon. Amazon. Move it up there to the top somewhere. That's good. Okay, so Amazon's doing okay.
Omar Sanchez says I was told today was just going to be a good day overall. How are you guys feeling this morning?
Well, I'm feeling really good. In IPO filing, Coinbase says address is not applicable, and the spot companies usually list their headquarters. In a footnote, it explains in May 2020 we become a remote first company. Accordingly, we do not maintain a headquarters. Well, this it looks like it's up, and I think that there could be some trend to it, but I'm not necessarily seeing the probable setup for me. So I am just gonna sit by. Did Gabby take it? No, she did not. But that might have just been that she didn't get the fill, right? Specifically for TLR. Well, I mean, it looks like the most shorted name stocks are going to go up, but I think that it's probably going to be mostly GameStop and AMC. And I'm really concerned that it will be like on the market open and then that's it, But they're going to try and pump it before the market too. Like, let's just watch it. Probably in 30 minutes when the equity traders start popping in, you might start to see GameStop moving up.
Winston's mom says MarketWatch the yield on the U.S. Treasury TMU
Can't copy and paste it.
10Y 1.461% rose 7 basis points to 1.45%, extending recent gains. And unemployment is down.
It's so funny. You can't copy and paste it out of the chat. You have to type it because Google it escapes characters. So that's not a real exclamation point. It's a different exclamation point that's escaped. That looks like an exclamation for web. It's funny. Yeah, it's so weird, right? maybe I can come in. Oh, I bet you what I could do. You know what? So I'll copy it here, and will change the robot to fix that so that it will react to that character too. In the meantime, I've got a little bit of food here, so I'm going to eat that. All right.
Winston's mom says I typed in the accent in German F but copied and pasted the blurb from MarketWatch. Sebastian Newman says MNQ is going to be crushed at the open. A Ether Eater says Swaggy Stocks GME put call pain ratio looks insane. The next month of options are super call heavy. If those are mostly calls sold at the top to recover SI losses, wouldn't price squeeze from EXP?
To cover SI losses. Well, I really don't think I'm not a believer in the GameStop trade yet right now. Like, it made sense before because of such a high short position. Now it kind of looks like it's just a momentum play based purely on speculation. And Usually when you get like a spike of volatility like we had in GameStop, and then it kind of calms down for a little bit, and you get another spike in volatility. If there's a true story there, then yeah, you go higher. But I don't think that the fundamentals support GameStop being $1,000 stock. I just don't see it. So probably this is gonna moon here this morning and then very quickly fall off, right?
Winston's mom says yesterday I was looking for my edge and discovered that after lunch, more traders come back refreshed and begin trading. Would trading in the afternoon work? We trade mornings.
Yes. So there are edges that you can find going into the close. In particular, from watching what the market on close orders are looking like, and you can trade off of that. And there have been some studies, in fact, on some of the edges that you can find on this, basically figuring out what the day trader positions are and what they're going to do when they close them at the end of the day. However, since the pandemic, those patterns have kind of changed, and it kind of turns into they just buy it and they buy it, But there's definitely a good spot to look for potential, edges.
Hayden Jong says, hey Seth, just woke up to GME, what's going on with it? I thought all the shorts were out.
So let me explain. I didn't go into why. So here's the thing. So first of all, the data came out, like new short data came out, and the number of shorts is not high, but it is higher than it was like last week. Like some shorts added on. So I think that that's part of it. But then the other kind of driver here or impetus event, is that what we call it, was that they pushed out the chief financial officer, who many people thought was really bad and was hurting the company and was doing things specifically to just, kind of harvest the money out of GameStop and not make it a good company for investors. And so his departure was read as a positive sign that the people at GameStop were really serious about turning this company and making it a big, good company. And then the CEO of GameStop tweeted. He tweeted a picture of an ice cream cone and a frog emoji. So I don't know what that means, but everybody seems to think that means something really good. So I don't know. If I was GameStop, I would be looking to sell shares. Honestly. What are you talking about that estimates positions I'm late? Oh, well, we were talking about market on close. So you can look at, which stocks have moved up that day and moves that are going to be primarily traded by day traders, and the market on close reports, and make some good estimates, I guess, about what the S&P 500 is going to do in the last hour of trading. So it appears there are some edges there. I don't know of them. I haven't found one specifically, but if you're, data mining around and you're looking for an edge, I think that would be a good place to look. Market on close reports. Yes. So when you put in an order, you can say, I want this order to be executed as whatever the market price is on the close. And that's why you see so much volume on the closes, because a lot of people put those market on close orders in there. And the advantage of the market on close orders is there's so much volume and liquidity during that time. When you're in big positions, it's a really good place to take those positions off. So when you put those orders in, the exchange keeps track of them and what the buy-sell side imbalance is, and reports on it regularly. And then at 10 minutes before the close, market on close orders are cut off. Like you can no longer enter market on close orders. And at that point, there is a report that comes out that is made public. And that is why at 350 every day, you tend to see some volatility there. That's when that final information is coming out and is available to everybody. I have a video about that on my channel if you want to hear a little bit more about that. There's been some empirical studies about this and how it has changed during the pandemic. That it is all very, very interesting, because the floor traders disappearing appears to have had a significant impact in making the markets less efficient. So that's what you got to do. Should we check the level 2 order book now? Let's hold on a second. Well, there's some big orders out there, but nothing too crazy. I want it like that. Well, it's just kind of okay. Means a pennant pattern. Man, so hold on a second. Let's finish this food.
Winston's mom says I found this explanation for Elon's tweet and am still Googling. You are the frog in Peacock's upcoming Frogger physical competition show. Caio Bertoli says you wouldn't believe how many guys go in group chats about financial markets here in Brazil at the end of day saying, why my position got close afternoon I put like $100 in the broker, lolololo. Winston's mom says Peacock is looking to jump into the live-action physical competition game with a series based on the 1981 video game Frogger. Apparently, Australia has a new series featuring Frogger from the game. Hayden Jong says I guess I'm taking another ride on the GME roller coaster. Making sure I get off this time.
All right. Well, I don't know. So you guys were talking about pennant patterns, and I find that subject interesting because, we talk about technical analysis and why technical analysis doesn't work. And mind you, often when I say technical analysis doesn't work, I'm using very broad terms here. That doesn't mean that there's not some usefulness to technical analysis. It just means that if you're trading purely off of charts, there's some issues with doing that. You're unlikely to be successful with it. But, this sort of a thing is definitely a thing. I mean, it definitely happens in markets, right? The problem is, like, when that happens, how often does it go back down? It absolutely will do that. Happens all the time. So how do you know if we've got here in Gamestop, is this like another rung and on the open they're going to move up and everything? Well, I think that what we've got to do is, instead of looking at it like a chart pattern, we need to look at it like volatility. So what really happened? We got a spike in volatility and it came up like that, and then we're getting another spike. So based on volatility patterns, what's the most likely thing to happen? In my opinion, it's that we will have a run on the open and then it will peak. That's probably the most likely. Someone replied saying the ice cream refers to broken ice cream machines in McDonald's, which in turn is a reference to the Fed interbank deposit. How is that a reference to the Fed interbank deposit system failure yesterday? That's so weird. You have to establish filters to the break. Well, I don't know about that one. Like, filters can help for sure, but I have tried all sorts of filters. We tried one from Blunt yesterday. Now he's messaged a bunch of other stuff, which is, I think, like more of a complete system that includes multiple filters. But like the filter that he gave me on its own was pretty good, but it wasn't better than like the super smoother. I think that you can predict what's going to happen off of that a lot better if you just know what's going on and why the moves are happening. That's not what you meant. Okay. No one has been more wrong about Bitcoin over the past decade than economists. That's not true at all, actually. Because I don't think that people didn't say, I don't think that people said that Bitcoin would never go up or that people would never buy it. Just that it's not really worth anything. And that ultimately it's going to have to face some music. By the way, we didn't look at Bitcoin. What is they doing? Oh, they tried to make a little run again. Okay. Now, I'm interested in this move that we've had in the 10-year because of the way that it came back up. And I'm thinking, are the treasuries going to tighten back down again? Well, Fed's Bostic is speaking. That might be part of why they came back, because of his comments. We have a slate of speakers today, don't we? Let's hold on. Let me check this other news source. Bostic. No, I don't see any. Oh, Quarles. And then Bostic speaks again later. He's speaking twice. A virtual event hosted by the Greater Naples Chamber. And right now he's speaking at a virtual banking conference hosted by the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. Let's see.
Winston's mom says Australian, New Zealand, and European government bonds were weakening on Thursday, with some of the bearish pressure spilling over into the U.S. Treasury bond market. Winston's mom says the rise in long-term rates could have the potential to undo the easy lending conditions fostered by central banks, raising questions whether monetary policymakers will lean against the sell-off.
Yeah, I'm thinking about J and how I can test J a little bit better, because it seems like if I try and have them both running, there's some issue. Two versions of them running, there's some issues with it. And I'm thinking maybe some of the changes that I had to make to the level 2, I think might fix some of my backtesting stuff. So I'm thinking maybe I can try that today and see if I can get it to do a backtest on the historical level 2 data. If I was able to work that out, that would be huge for us.
Kyle Bertoli says, Seth, have you been watching Axia live streams lately? They are very insightful.
Well, I don't watch the Axia very often, to be honest with you. The issue with them is they have a lot of really good and insightful stuff, but they also have a lot of just not useful stuff. And of course, the stuff that's real that they know is really truly useful, they're only going to give to subscribers, right? So live action saying careful with breakouts going in the volume nodes, wheel stops cover, catalysts, icebergs, volume time, the correct contact, etc. Well, yeah, when I was getting at it, I was kind of more like saying, hey, if this stock is going up because their earnings were good and it shows that this company is actually going to be a high growth company that's going to grow like 50% this year, then I see a pennant. That's probably a good place to buy, you know? That's why you buy Axie courses and mentoring. People sent me some of that stuff, but they weren't. I don't want to get into it. Anyways, lol, you would think, yeah. But here's what I'm saying is that it's like we're all in a car, and everybody is trying to determine where the car is going. And some people are like, okay, you should just look at the pedal to see where we're going. And then somebody else comes in and they say, well, like the pedal, that's one thing, but that just tells you how fast we're going. Really, what matters the most is which direction the steering wheel is pointing. But then somebody else comes in and is like, yeah, but like the position of the steering wheel changes and we might be going north now, but then we'll be going west later. And I'm saying, why don't you just ask the driver where we're going? Right? This is my comparison. That's what I think. I think you go in and you say, hey, what does Mr. Powell think the economy is doing? What are the certain catalysts that are causing the markets to move the way that they are? And then, look at the way that the market is reacting right now to that particular catalyst, and then use that to make your decisions. See, you want to have a holistic approach. You've got to try and look at as much of the system as you can. Because if you just look at one component, which the one component everybody looks at is price, you just don't have a sufficient enough picture to really know where we're going. All you can do with that information is say what's happening right now. Right? In other words, how do you get that information is predictive? Like, is the position of the steering wheel on a car at any given time predictive? Well, kind of, but not all the time, right? And even though it's kind of predictive of where the direction is going to be in the future, like if we're driving north now, there's a higher probability that we're going to continue to be driving north, 5 minutes from now. But that's not as predictive as just knowing what the driver's destination is. But then that kind of brings me back to, so some of the things that people were showing me, or that I've been seeing people talk a lot about, is volatility, right? So is there something to volatility? Yeah, there is. So I would not say that the markets are random. They're definitely not random. There are some properties about the market that you can look at statistically that are different from what a random walk or Gaussian noise or whatever you want to call it would be. Okay. And one of those is the volatility clustering, which is like, if you see volume come in, volume tends to come in all at once. Probably because you guys are all just watching with technical analysis and you see other people buying, and so you want to buy too, right? But it's different. Yeah, it is. And can you potentially take advantage of it? Yes. But here again, you're going to have a much better chance of taking advantage of it if you know what's going on, you know? Like if you're in GameStop and you were already in it, then you would know that, hey, we're getting the volatility clustering right now. So whatever happens on the open, that's probably going to be one of your best, one of your best places to take a profit. What if the driver has no clue, like they're lost or they're 6 years old? Well, I still say that, you know, you're going to have a better chance of being able to predict where the car is going to go from knowing those sorts of things, listening to what the people in the car are saying. Because here's what I hear from everybody: just look at the direction of the steering wheel and don't listen to what the driver says about where we're going. Don't even pay attention to news, is what I always hear from retail traders. I need your point of view on rare earth resources. Well, they're a stock and they're in rare earth mining, and I own it, and that's all there is to say about it. You think I should buy before the end? Well, what, the GameStop thing? I mean, I don't have any kind of predictive signal that suggests that you should buy GameStop here. I don't have that. If I were to guess what's going to happen, I would guess that there is going to be a little bit of a pop when it opens. How long? Well, I'm not. I intend on holding it for years. That rare earth resources play, I intend on holding it for years because I want exposure to rare earth minerals, and rare earth resources is like one of 2 mines in the United States. And Congress is giving all sorts of they're making bills like literally to help these 2 companies. So that's why I'm in it. Bear Lodge is going to be big. Yeah. Well, there was another one. I forget what the ticker symbol is, but the other one is interesting because they also have like processing on it. That one's kind of hard though because the processing of it is a little different from the mining of it. Plus, and the other thing is that right now the fundamentals look very favorable. Look very favorable to commodities in general, right? Man, I wanted to go short the 10-year and I didn't even notice that it dropped. Like, man, it was so fast too. All within a minute. Ugh, that sucks. Currently, there are only 2 significant primary rare earth mines owned by Western companies. Yeah, I forget what the. No, I think the other one is in like California or something. I don't. I think it's out west. Mountain. There you go. MP. Did they just halt GameStop? No, it doesn't look like it. It sure is wiggling around a lot, isn't it? Okay, so just by the way, as the treasuries pushed back down there, the equities did as well. We are definitely getting some positive treasury equity correlation, which is not common, but has happened before with the taper tantrum, and it looks like that's what's happening right now. One of the issues with the treasuries, because I saw that Fed's Bostic was talking and the treasuries moved up really hard, and so I was like, well, he must have said something and like that thing is passed, right? But now it's just like it kind of already did I think that like the really good setup is probably gone, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have any pre-market trades, to be honest with you guys. I mean, risk asking if you're in a trade. No, I'm not. So you'll be able to tell because when I take it, these DOMs will show numbers that say how much you make or lose at each price. What is this? I don't know if I want to read that. I continue to see a lot of debate about coronavirus and the correct measures to take. And I don't know, man. It seems like both sides are really convinced that they have science on their side. Okay. USA Rare Earth is privately held Delaware LLC, which was formed specifically to develop the project to extract, process Round Top's valuable ore. Yep, there you go. Yep, that was my strategy. I can still pick up another stock, but just hasn't stood out to me yet. Haven't gotten one that really stands out to me yet. I'm sure glad I held on with the Goldman Sachs though. With the yields rising and then them in improving their consumer bank business and everything, they've been doing amazing lately. You hope that GameStop drops like a rock. They just traded through 19. By the way, let's include something in the title about Treasury yields rise again. How do I say this? See that? How they... Oh my gosh. 84 at 18? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So I'm going to try playing with this. I don't like that. Nope. Yeah, equity's just not liking that at all. I'm having a hard time determining who the ringleader is here. It seems like they're moving around on almost nothing. It seems that the market makers here in the treasuries are being very risk adverse. What's your current outlook? I'm just watching it. So the way that I play this sort of a thing is the first trade is usually the best trade. So if it's coming back for a round 2, I'm just gonna watch them. Unless I have a really good reason to believe that it should be valued higher. As just a trade, as a momentum trade, I don't want to jump on it. Nvidia is down? Really? Oh, we should look into the video cards. That's tomorrow, right? Yeah, like at that, the market makers are just letting it go either way. Oh, they had earnings? Oh, okay. Understandable. I'm purely gambling on this one about a single stock, so I'm curious to see how high I can write it this time. Yeah. See, if I was in, because I think that it's very there was a lot of activity last night. I tell you what, so as soon as I saw that, I went and I recorded a TikTok, and there was already hundreds of people that had beaten me to making TikToks about that. It was kind of funny because why the algorithm decides to show what it does, because it will only show mine to like 150 people. And then there's other content that I don't think is even half as good. And, they get thousands of likes. And I'm like, what the hell? But that's just the way that it is. But there was a lot of activity at this point. And Reddit, there was a lot of activity. Like Reddit was down from the activity, I believe. So I think there's a really good chance that you're going to see some strong buying on the open in GameStop. And how high it's able to get off of that, who knows? But it is definitely... Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, the inverse. No, they are positively correlated for sure. Live action, right? I'm not using any fancy statistics. I saw a chart yesterday on a zero hedge where they were showing the degree of correlation and all that. But I'm just watching the DOM. That's why I have them set up the way that I do. And they are They are positively correlated at the moment. So that's a little interesting there at 18. Okay. Yeah, imagine so if we don't see any dirty tricks like halting buys, etc. Well, I think that Robinhood is in a much better position at this time to deal with that sort of a thing. So, So they're hitting it, but they're not holding offers in the 10-year. What mining it's I don't really like to talk about my positions, but I am in Rare Earth Resources, which is REEMF, which is a rare earth mining company. And it's been doing really well for me, actually. I made what's my percentage gain on it? I've made almost $500 from it off of an initial investment of 100. Yeah, Financial Viz says shorts. Yeah, so like the number of shorts increased, but it wasn't like dramatic or anything. I don't think that it's really going because people think that there's a bunch of shorts. Like the thing is that there's a lot of people on Reddit that believe, so I have this video. We should go and find the video, right? If you haven't seen my video about GameStop, I would highly recommend it because there's a lot of information out there about GameStop that is just straight up wrong. And, I think should be where is it? Which one is it? Is it all the way at the bottom? Yeah, it is. I hate that when you add stuff to a playlist that it adds it to the bottom of the playlist, but that's okay. Okay, here's my video on GameStop. So if you haven't watched that, I would recommend you watch that because there's lots of things that people have said about the GameStop situation that were false. And I think that it gives you a good overview of kind of what's going on. So, we had a killer day yesterday, Killer. Oh, 7%. Wow, good job. HF delta volume is more important than cumulative volume. You think so, huh? So are you saying you think that the amount of volume that goes through at any one price is more important, the amount of buy and sell volume at any one price is more important than tracking the cumulative volume over time? Oh, they're going to take 16.5 on no volume too, huh? HF contracts traded, I mean. Well, I tell you, one of the things that I pay attention to, and it's kind of making things difficult here in the 10-year for us, but it looks like we're doing okay. I really want to see when they trade through a price and it doesn't take any volume to do it, right? So like back there at 18, 134.18, look at that, 32 contracts to sell through there. So what we're having here is market makers are not taking long contracts at all. They're not even like taking profits on it. They're pulling their orders and they're letting it go through. right? So when price moves down and not even the market makers want to take fills, that tells you something very, very important that I think the vast majority of people miss. And the GameStop thing was a really great example, because everybody was like, look, it's plummeting, it's going down, but like the volume's not there. So how could like the shorts be covering on all this? Well, the shorts had already covered, but the reason it was moving down like that was because the market makers didn't want to hold it. And why would you? After a big move like that, and you know that it's going to come down crazy, you don't want to hold a lot of inventory, right? You have a really good reason to want to take a lot of inventory on in a thing like that. And I think the same thing is going on in the treasuries right now. Why would you want to hold long inventory with the way that the trend has been going here, especially since we are breaking out to the downside? I mean, we haven't been at these levels in a very, very, like a year, almost a year, maybe. You know, where does this stop? Because there's not like a pivot or like a key level to use as like what would you say, a comparison until 133.20 half. So like way far down from here. Fancy. Did you see the headphones I had on at the beginning were like the huge headphones, and they didn't sound right. That's kind of different. It's kind of interesting, the differences, because these are DJ headphone, so they're really tight bass. Like it's not very good deep rumbly bass, but it's there to make it so that when you're in a noisy environment, you can really hear that kick to beat match with, right? So when I put those other headphones on yesterday to listen to music and stuff, it was like, it's so weird. And then hearing myself talk, I couldn't do it. Didn't sound right at all. I'm going to be my own dark pool iceberg. Well, I don't know how much the dark pools and over-the-counter kind of stuff matters in the treasuries, but it definitely happens. But that's where I'm kind of like, you know what? Just look at what the market maker is doing. Why is the market maker willing or not willing to take contracts at a certain spot? You know? You bought 3 this morning for GameStop? Ugh, the E-minis taking a hit there for sure. Oh look, Gabby took a trade. When did she do that? Because I didn't see it happen. Oh, I put her on the micros. Oh, interesting. I was like, I didn't hear the noise, so why did Gabby take a trade? But she caught one in the micros. Good job. You should stare into my dark pools. You'd never heard of a dark pool. Well, I know all about dark pools, so let me tell you what dark pools are about. Dark pools are a way for you to put out liquidity somewhere without the rest of the market really seeing about it. It's like another market. It's like another exchange that only the big guys have access to. And you can kind of put out what you want to buy and sell in the dark pool and get matched up with other people without anybody being able to see how much people are buying and selling of stuff. Right? So it, the big guys really like that because they're all about trying to reduce their market impact, and retail traders seeing that market, seeing that they want to buy or sell something, kind of hurts that. That's for stocks, not futures. Well, I mean, a dark pool is definitely for future, but you can do it for any kind of market. In treasuries in particular, I will tell you, there's like these block trades, right? So people can make a over-the-counter trade with each other, and then it gets reported later. and that's what those block trades are. And you can actually hear them. So if you get news squawk as your squawk, you will hear from time to time they will report a block trade happening at a certain price or yield, and then you will see price move exactly to that spot and a big transaction happen. And so you can like make money off of it. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that. I think I can just kind of let this last one ride. I got a lot more excursion on that trade than I wanted, and I am playing it on sim with multiple contracts, kind of playing more of a market making way of going about things, but I was pretty confident that the pressure was going to be down, so I don't know. Well, like I was thinking about it, I was like, well, it's a lot of risk, but I'm always thinking, oh, you know what? There's like 50 people watching. It's not even the open yet. Lots of people don't want to do something stupid. But it worked out.
Winston's mom says HF, the charts are complicated and remind me of the air defense tracking charts radar operators read so well. I think we need a more intuitive chart. I wonder if colorblind people have difficulty?
Well, I'd say, markets are really complicated. It is one of the issues that I see out there is that everybody wants to try and turn it into a simplistic thing, and it's just not. And the further along we get, the more we're going to learn about it and the more complicated it's going to become. And the more competitive it becomes. So what do you think? Is it going to keep going up? I bet you there's going to be a really good buy on the open spike. That's about as far as I'm willing to go. And I should say that I'm not going to take a position. I'm not sitting there looking to buy it on the open and scalp something, even though I think I probably could. I don't actually have like a signal. So, oh man, these treasuries, the way that they're moving here, man. Okay, so that was significant right there to me. Look at that, yeah. You can trade however you want, just don't BS people with your lack of knowledge and try to cut your decision with undue sophistication. Well, if you're talking about any kind of trade that I made, I don't tell you guys everything about it. Like I know that some of you find that frustrating, and that kind of sounds like something that Salim is going to say, but I literally don't tell you guys everything. In fact, I do things to intentionally make it difficult to suss out what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Well, that come back really easily, didn't it? More power to you. Mm-hmm. I think that like this is one of my things though, is like some people really think that I should be able to come in and watch this one thing that everybody else is watching, and it will, always work, and I can just consistently make money doing that. And the reality is that it just can't work like that in a competitive market. So what are you going to do? Well, I say one of the ways that I deal with that is that I try to have a more sophisticated analysis than the average retail trader. Ooh, okay, that really came back. So I did see when the opportunity to get out was coming, but it kind of passed it, and I thought that it was going to come back, and it didn't. So the issue here is, even though they're kind of letting it drop, they're also letting it rise back up. Like, the market makers really aren't taking on a lot of contracts in either direction. Although there does appear to be a little bit more activity or interest in it around here at 18. You bought 200 shares of AMC? Well, there you go. I mean, here again, all like I'm saying, like, I think that there's going to be some push on the open and a good profit making opportunity, but we'll see. Because, like I said, I don't like, that's the way that things tend to go, but that's not something that I've like tested and that I have a predictive signal on, especially not for stocks, right? the term undo is the genie in the box. I know stupid people who make money trading. Well, I don't think that it's necessarily about how smart you are. Like here's the thing, is that if you are a humble person, you're going to come in and you're going to say, well, I don't really know what's going on. And then you're going to put the work in to find things that show what's really going on. And then you're only going to take the trade when you know that that's what it is. Okay, so there's the open. I'm going to open up my, where is it? I'm going to open up my Vista chart here so I can kind of see, there was a little bit of delta buying on that. What month are you trading? Oh, I'm still trading the front month. I haven't rolled over my treasuries. Okay. So there's a hole here between 17.5 and 18. So I guess that's where I end up getting that out. That could have been a much better trade, huh? Yeah, that definitely could have been a much better trade. Good practice. Yeah, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which people wrongly overestimate their knowledge or ability in a specific area, a lack of self-awareness. Yeah, but the takeaway that I get from that study, if you really read the study and read the author's comments, the thing that they seem to be saying is it's not that like stupid people overestimate their ability so much as it is that everybody is stupid, and it's only the people that actually have experience in doing the thing that really get good at it, and they only get good at it because they're humble, because they even if it's by force, that they're forced to learn how little they really know about certain things. I think everybody kind of reads it as like, if you're behaving this way, it must mean that you're stupid. That must mean that you're stupid. Nah, it's not quite what they were trying to say. Although you could, There's a whole question about correlation, causation, and all that sort of stuff. So you could have your own theories about what this study actually means, right? It's a nice drive on the minis. Yeah, it is. Well, it's up to where we were above after the news before they started plummeting off of the yields rising. So you can see here that the yields coming back a step back to where we were at on the open definitely seems to be helping the equities. So being humble would tell me, well, the whole point is that if you've traded it for any amount of time, you would realize how tricky NQ really is, right? Ooh, it got hit hard. Yeah. Well, see, this is what I was saying. Like, I think that's what's going to happen on the open, but I don't have a predictive signal, so I don't know. 137 is still like compared to where they were before. Yeah, it did get halted. It's not moving anymore. I don't know. So like the overnight gap is back to like 120. So they could still come back. It could even go back to 100 and then bounce and go higher for all we know. It's going to be awfully crazy, right? Okay, the E-mini is taking another little rise there. Tesla and ARK are still doing poorly. Seems like the overall index is doing well, but those growth names are still struggling. I don't like that. It kind of looks like I should buy it and it would get a higher high, but yeah, there you go. I just don't like that profile bit there because I don't really know what was going on. By the way, did my robots take any of that? Oh, Jay got killed too. I see. Collection was modified. Enumeration may not execute. Okay, so it must be something to do with my level 2 indicator, some concurrency bug that I'm going to have to sort out. So, while that is like that, I can come and move this chart over here and watch it instead. It's just that there are levels to this. See, this is the thing that I think is funny is when you come in and you have somebody that acts like they know what's doing, but then based off of the things that they say, they're completely clueless and they don't know jack shit. And, we see this all the time. But you know what I think would be more interesting to talk about? Wait, by the way, Ace is here, right? Maybe he's just been eating. It's like the defensive thing. It's like if somebody, says something you disagree and then they end up being right or they're successful off of it, it's kind of makes them unhappy. because it's like what they can't explain it away. It was a little FOMO. Well, it's fair. I should have FOMO'd into this a lot earlier, huh? So this looks like this is just gonna keep going. Probably we get some more opportunity. If this is really gonna just keep turning up. Yeah, I kind of have to wonder though if the treasuries are gonna stay here. Problem is that they're having a very difficult time being able to tell. No, see what he's trying to do is he's just trying to distract, right? So he thinks that he's trying to say the things that he thinks will be the most distracting to the stream. Has nothing to do with, like, he sounds like he's saying, I have a good point about you, but it's really he's just saying that stuff because he thinks that that's disruptive, that he thinks he can play to my ego. Now, you know what I want to talk about instead? If I could, I know this is like completely out of the blue, but let's talk about how Islam is a toxic religion and that the world would be better off without it. Let's talk about that. I think so. They don't treat women very well. I think that they don't afford women the rights that they should have in Islamic countries. They kill gay people. They throw them off buildings. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah. Or no, so we're not going to talk about abortionists. We're going to talk about how Islam is an abhorrent religion. It really is. And they believe crazy things. You know, like, do you know that Muhammad married like the prophet? Married like an 8-year-old kid. Married an 8-year-old kid. And then, but he said she's too young to have sex with her. So he waited until she was like 14 or something like that. It's just absolutely crazy stuff. Religion poisons absolutely everything. Well, it kind of goes back to that thing where it's like, you know, it seems to me that religion is like an innate part of humanity, and that people are going to turn to some form of religion in one way or another. And so, you know, the question is really like, what is your religion going to be? Because some people think that they're not tied to religion, but then what happens is they just turn science into their religion, and they can be just as dogmatic and toxic with it as they are, right? So I think the question is like, what is your belief system going to be that can be the most healthy for you in society, right? And I'm just saying that it seems to me that Islam is a very toxic religion for the world. Did he have four wives? He was simping for one woman. Well, they want you to think religion is ubiquitous. What does that mean? A cross between unique and ubiquitous, the act of uniquity. Well, that's what I thought, but the act of spreading your uniqueness all over the land. I mean, here's the thing, is that if people want to have more than one wife, I mean, like polyamory and all those sorts of things, I suppose that is their own prerogative. There are advantages and disadvantages to such a setup, right? But what should not happen is people be sold off or forced into marriages like that, like what happens in Islam, right? Or basically treated like property. Oh my gosh, some of the things that so you know what's one of the, well, I don't want to say fun, but like really interesting is if you go on Reddit, there's actually like subreddits for people that have like left Islam, especially women. And some of the stories that you hear from the women that left the religion are just terrifying. Oh my gosh. You know, literally like always being treated like trash by their fathers, and then literally being sold off to somebody that they hate, and then being beaten and so forth. And yeah, that having to be able to get outside of their country to be able to get free from it and everything. It's crazy stuff. And then, and like, I don't think that people really realize some of the awful things that happen with it. You know, like there's a lot of sex trafficking in those countries. Islam is 700 years behind. Yeah, well, and isn't it so odd that there was a time when Islam was very scientific and they had some of the greatest advances in the world back when it was the Ottoman Empire and stuff? But then where on Reddit? You know, I can't remember the name of the subreddit right off the top of my head. Let's see here. Let's see if we can search for it. Oh, there you go. There's r/ex-Muslim. Ex-Muslims are a really important community. Yeah. Like Christianity, Islam underwent a reformation. Unfortunately, they killed all the reformers. Is the second? Whoa! If you say that the first worst religion is Christianity, and we like, so I don't think that even if you go back in history and say Christianity has done some bad things in the past, it's not even close to what Islam is now. Oh, no, that is an interesting point. You say the Western countries just destroyed true Islam and you can only see extremist Islam today. Well, I don't know if I would say it's accurate to say that they destroyed true Islam, but the way that the Western countries divvied up the Middle East definitely caused some problems, didn't it? It seems to me that there wouldn't be nearly as much turmoil in the world if the British Empire had, factored in the way that the countries actually wanted their borders to be sorted out when they did all that stuff, right? Christianity did the capital insurrection? No. I think the capital insurrection thing is kind of, the way that people treat it is funny. Like, if the roles had been switched around, okay, if the left had lost and they had all of these instances of what they believed was voter fraud and everybody was refusing to look at it and the media was hush-hushing it, I think that they would have done the exact same thing. And if the left had done it, people would have died. They would have just killed senators. I mean, it's not the first time that they've tried, right? Oh man, that's one that crazy too, is that people forget about that whole instance. But no, but we're getting off subject. We're talking about the problems with Islam. I love how people associate slavery with ideology, races, or nations, like all of humanity didn't participate in slavery. It's totally true, Uzi. Well, and oh man, well that's one worth segueing to, because yeah, like slavery is not allowed anymore, but they kind of find ways around it, right? They kind of find ways of getting people to enslave themselves, because it really comes down to that, like, the most productive uses of your energies is to get other people to do everything for you, but then take all of the results of their labor. Yeah, Dubai was literally built on modern slavery, and oh, my white people's Chris. Yeah, it totally is, man. There's been slavery to some degree or another in basically every civilization that I've read about. Okay, so the E-mini is kind of trailing back off here, and the treasuries are starting to push down again. GameStop still oscillating between 150 and 125. I'm sure the folks who were brought to the Americas in the hold of ships love hearing how rough they had it in Dubai. Well, I'm not sure what your point is there. No, I think you're wrong on that one, Keller. So Keller says religion is the cause of every major conflict that exists in politics, from abortion to euthanasia to gay rights to the Middle East. ETX. I don't think so. Here's what I think is the reality. I think that the reality is that people's interests conflict sometimes. That if there isn't a lot of food and there are too many people to feed, then some people will take the food and kill the other people that are competing with them for the food. And that's just nature. That's just, there are period times where limited resources, it can turn to violence. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be like we're going to starve to death, but it can just be your interests. And so wars will be started because people have conflicting interests. And what they do is they will use their religion or whatever it is that their belief system is a way to form solidarity around that conflict. But it's never actually the cause of the conflict. So if you go back and you look at all of the European wars, so like 30-year wars is probably one of the most prominent. So the 30 Years' War is, everybody says that was Catholicism versus Protestantism, and that's what caused that. And there was things like, there was incidents where those one side's people got pushed out of a tower, and that it was what kind of escalated the situation and got things to where there was conflicts. But if you actually look at the countries and the leaders and the incentives and everything behind that, you will see that there was heavy incentive for them to have the war for other reasons, and that the religion was just kind of the excuse. Oh, it's so fast. That's an interesting point too. We say like everybody's an individual. That's true. But if you believe an ideology that is toxic and wrong, if you believe that women should be treated like property, which is basically what that religion teaches. Right. Good job, Izzy. That was fast. Slavery become a white-black dichotomy in that turn of the last century. Well, I have to say, like, well, they don't have to say anything about it. I don't know what I was going to say. We live in a society, guys. Yeah, no, we do. So now, Ace, do you see what I did there? Did you see all of that? You see what I did there, right? Uzi knows. Uzi knows. I think that worked pretty effectively, don't you think? Oh my gosh. The E-mini gonna just kind of chill here a bit? Or are we gonna get... Oh, why is that moving average so far away. They really the volume is really that far back. Market makers have messed up the order flow. Well, that's for sure. In the treasuries, man, is definitely messed up over there. Like, the market makers are putting liquidity out, but it's not a lot of liquidity, right? It's 2000s. Well, probably because of the roll, right? Tomorrow is the next, is the rollover. Let's go and do that. Let's go and do that and look at what we've got available to us. Download instruments. I don't know if I have them all. So just update. Oh, sure. Christianity is why women can't access abortion. I don't think so. Well, I don't know. So if Christianity wasn't the thing, would people be totally okay with abortion? I have a hard time seeing that one. But I guess there's no way that we could really know. It would be thin on the rollover. Yeah, it's for sure. I was just thinking about that. I was like, well, it's 2000. It's going on very little volume. It could. So let's come over and look. ZN. So we should be moving to June, right? Well, there's not that much more liquidity. There are a few large orders over there that weren't in the other one. Well, let's just move them. There's June. There's the bond and the 5-year. And then all of these. ZB, this one. Okay. It's all just gonna pull anyways. I know, right? Like over here, it's probably gonna pull too. Like they're absorbing on the offers, but like I bet you that when it tries to trade 11.5, that okay, well, there's definitely some icing going on over here in the ZN that in the June contract that wasn't. So that's good. They halt GameStop again? Oh man. It was barely even from 105 to 119. That's funny. Well, how much volume have they traded in GameStop? 28 million. Oh, hey, Gabby took another one. Dude, I'm really liking Gabby, man. So I did the back test yesterday, and well, was it 2 days ago? I was kind of made her and did the back test, and I was like, well, like maybe there's something to it, but it's not really very good. And then I said, well, and what it's doing is putting limit orders out there. So then I thought, oh, well, what if instead of putting it like 8 ticks away from the mid price, I just put it 4 ticks away from the mid price, and then it'll still take an 8 tick winner, but it'll just do, 4 ticks on each side of the mid price instead of just trying to get from here to here, And I went back and I redid that one. It was amazing. I mean, it was such a simple setup, and I got a profit factor of 1.15 and a Sharpe ratio of 1. I was like, this is great. And now here I'm trading it. I didn't put it on the E-mini. I should have put it on the E-mini. Instead, I'm getting it on the micros, which it's probably going to happen more often on the micros, actually, with the signal that I'm looking for, because it has to do with liquidity. And she's caught 2 so far. Possibly soon to be 3. So I'm pretty happy about that. Are you going to buy GME again, or I'm just going to sit this through, especially since they dumped on the open? My brother, YOLO GME when it was hot. If you pull up a 1-minute chart and that 1/500 print, that was one of his fills. I mean, I got an okay exit on GameStop. Oh, you bought the AMC on Monday? Really? Good job, Lewis. Oh, man. That was, what was surprising to me was the number of people that I saw posting on Reddit their options that had options in GameStop. Like, some of these people had options where they had only spent like $60. Like, they were sub $1. They were sub $1 options, and they went up like to tens of thousands. It was insane. Yeah, I'm not playing game. I don't have a position in GameStop right now. I really should have shorted the Treasury, man. Look at it go. That's okay though, because we can come over here and do this. Oh, well, that didn't go so well. And that one's not going to work out. It doesn't look like, is it? Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. So there was a little gap right there. Smoker asks, have you ever used Sierra charts, and do you have an opinion about their product? Yes, I have. So I think that, especially considering the price for it, that Sierra charts is a pretty good product. It's not the best one. I very much prefer Jigsaw's DOM, for instance. It's a lot more difficult to make custom indicators in Sierra charts, not just because you have to do it in C++, but because of the way that they have their framework set up isn't very good. And that's kind of reflected in really every facet of their application. It really looks to me like it was written by an engineer that didn't really start trading. And so everything about the interface and where the settings are and everything is very unintuitive and confusing. So it's not very user-friendly in that respect. But if you feel that like Jigsaw, the $500 to start and then the $50 a month to be able to execute on the platform is too much, then I think that Sierra Charts is a good alternative. Yeah, now it goes. So. Well, them treasuries are looking mighty slippery on the downside. I thought Jigsaw was well, so there's when you buy it, it's a lifetime subscription to have access to the software, but to actually click on the DOM for a live account, not a SIM account, for a live account, you have to pay a $50 a month license. And that license also gives you access to the journalytics stuff, so it's totally worth it. But you know, most people don't want to spend $50 a month, especially if they're just starting out. So I totally get it. So there is some absorption going on here at 3906. Okay. Okay, new low. So it's not ETH low, it's just RTH low. What do you mean by journalytics stuff? So like you ever show when I show you like my stats and stuff? That's journalytics. So that's where you can go in and it will show you your MFE and MAE for every trade that you've ever taken. And really, really great trade stats, basically. Look at that. How did that not? That would have filled. If they printed through me, then that would have filled. So I don't know why the sim didn't think that filled, but whatever. Cool. Seth saying stats equals me horny. Seth, I watched your computer hardware video. Components still relevant today? Yes, absolutely. So CD-ROM to kind of the point that I was trying to make with that video was that like all of these components you have to have in a computer for them to work, right? The question is just for a trading computer, which ones do you focus on? And that's what the video was mostly about. So I think I do mention some specific pieces of hardware like the AMD, 3600. And that's still a good buy right now. And I think you can get them for like $120 now, which is great. But, that's kind of what that was about. So regardless of where the technology goes from here, you should always be able to go back and look at that video and know what you should focus on, right? For day trading, the memory and CPU are more important. The video card isn't really very important at all. Unless maybe somebody starts creating a different type of trading application that uses 3D graphics or something. Have you used eToro? No, I was hearing some bad things about eToro yesterday, though. Reading on the subreddit, they were having all sorts of problems with it. Well, that thing really fell through, didn't it? When I didn't get filled on that one, I was like, well, I could cancel it because they're surely going to go lower now, right? But then I felt like that wouldn't be honest, so I didn't cancel it. eToro was a mess. Yeah, I don't know. I was hearing really bad. They were saying that they had lots of outages and issues dealing with them on the phone, and they shut down eToro for Monday. Oh, geez. Yeah. I mean, I'm really just not a fan of any of those trading apps. I use Fidelity because I was given that account when I worked at Goldman Sachs when they gifted stock. And I was always like, well, there's a reason that they use Fidelity. And I remember the people there at the firm saying, you know, like, Fidelity isn't the cheapest and everything, but they're really reliable and the best, and there's a reason that they use them. So when I left, I was like, okay, I'll just stay there. And it was one of the best trading decisions I made, right? Because through the whole GameStop thing, I was able to execute and do everything that I needed, no problems. Absolutely no problems ever with it. Compared to all of these, you know, Trading 21 and E-Trade. And of course, Robinhood, you know. I was so lucky with my NASDAQ short a few hours later, and I wouldn't have been able to. Oh. Man, my baby sounds very unhappy this morning. How can that be? He had such a good night's rest. You know what? I slept so well last night. Oh, did Gabby take another one and lose some money? Let's see. Oh, wait, she's taken that many? Oh, I guess she's only making like $5 on a trade. Still, that's really good. Especially taking 5 short trades and them all being winners. Probably if the risk reward on this was equal, it would probably maybe be a little different, but looking forward to leaving, just waiting to see if I can get some losses refunding. Yeah. No, let's see here. Can I see? Oh no, I can't see the charts. Okay, but I can come in and see the trades, right? Show me. What was the loser? 39.02? And she took it long. Yeah, okay. So this is where I have it's interesting with Gabby. Oh, am I really only taking $5 on this? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not right. Oh, okay. So she's taking another one. I'm just gonna close her for a second. Close position. That would have been another execution. I have Gabby on here. Was I really testing it with it only taking a point? The thing is that I think that if I include filters on it, that I could get better, but because like on that move, there's no way you would want to go short there, right? Or there's no way you'd want to go long there, right? But the thing is that the base signal does so well. I add a filter onto it, especially if I can work out the level 2 stuff, because it seems like that's way more effective. Stop and reward factor 8, really? Okay. Well, you know, I guess I should just leave it alone. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I guess I'll just leave it alone. Now, Indy died too. Why did Indy die? What's happening here? Oh, maybe I accidentally clicked it or something, because it says that it just got disabled on its own. Brandon did really good yesterday, but he's getting creamed today. Probably because he took all those longs, huh? What a mess with ES. Yeah, well, I mean, they're holding the 3,900 area pretty well, but the bonds just start just getting creamed again, right? When I got out of that, I did kind of want to take it short again, but it's not really over here in the Treasury. It's not really giving me clear signals per se. It's just screaming, be short me. But like where you could do it with good risk reward, I can't tell. Look at that. See, they completely pulled no 09.5. But Iceberg at 09, so that's... Looks like GameStop is holding a little bit. Andre is done for the day. Thank you for stopping in. So that's interesting. So Gabby made $30 on only taking a point. But is that why it backtests so well? But I haven't tried it with my difference on a 16 tick winner instead of an 8 tick winner. Given when I tell it to use an equal risk reward, it does okay. Kind of suggests that I could have it to be 16 and a half. Oh, you just meant to say buy. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. So I did a lot of back testing on it yesterday, and it takes a while for it to back test. So I'm like, well, I don't want to run more back tests, but it looks like I've still got a couple of questions left about it that I'm going to have to answer. So, what are your thoughts on the current GameStop situation? I have no clue why it's really moving up. I mean, the stated reasons that are out there don't look like a very good reason to buy something to me. I kind of thought that maybe there would be a lot of excitement on the open in trying to buy it, but I don't. That doesn't seem to be what's happening. It looks like people took profits, so it's not something that I'm interested in playing at this time. But I'll put it in the title of the video to try and get as many people to come in as like, and maybe some of them will come and join us and be bond vigilantes there. That's what we need. The excitement left the market when I bought in. I don't know. So like the equities are acting like they want to come back out here, right? But I don't know, man. You FOMO just a little bit? Gosh, you guys need to train yourselves a little bit better to hold it in. Oh. What are your thoughts on bond ETFs in general? Good, bad? Should I just buy a regular bond ETF? Well, you don't want to buy one. You definitely don't want to buy it. So remember that the bonds are going down, right? So you would want to be short PLT or maybe be long a short bond ETF. But in this case, probably the better play would be to be long a bank, right? Like I'm long Goldman Sachs because they're increasing their consumer business, and I think that that's going to bring a lot of growth to them. And I knew that eventually the interest rates were going to come back up and that they'd be able to make more money when that happens. And so right now, at least, it's doing really well. Okay, well, they're pulling a little bit out, especially since the Treasury's pulled back up there a little bit. Front month pulled back a lot more than the new month pulled back more than the old month. Let's put it that way. Okay, so back to the open. I'm still thinking about Gabby. Like, what would be the best way to do this one? So she takes a lot of trades in the micros, which is really interesting to me. Now I should also go back and see. I would like the way that she works. I would really like to put it in a combine. Would make more sense to use a combine for her as well. But, like the 30K combine that you get on Top Step with the $2,000 targets doesn't really make much sense. I thought that they had micro combines. I guess not. Blow my nose here. They have the micro swing combine. Who is that? Who has that? That's not Top Step, is it? I guess maybe it just makes more sense to do it on my own account, but oh, they do have a swing. $1,000 target with micro lots, $110 a month. That one doesn't really make sense. That doesn't really make sense to me, to be honest with you. Why isn't that one listed on their main page when you come over here? You say earn funding, I think is what you're supposed to click on. Futures. And that's all it gives you. There's not. Why? That one didn't show. You say Lilu. I don't think I've ever used Lilu. Lilu trading. That's a lot cheaper. Up to 20 micro, 2 full contracts, $2,000. That doesn't know. Why would you do that? Why? That's so dumb. Like you're using micros, but then it's the same target. Okay. Oh, show you 6E at. Well, okay. I don't know what that's going to look like. Six E Euro FX futures. You still want to be March? No, I don't think I get it. Unless we're on April now over there. Nope. No, definitely in March. Well, hold on. Database management. Oh, it actually is telling me to roll over my treasuries. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can see it. Doesn't look like I'm allowed to, that I get the FX ones. You are in H20? 6E. Oh, I see. I see. We want to do March 2021. We need H21. Okay, now I can see it. Now I can see it. I thought that was weird. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be able to see everything on the CME. Okay, 2260. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of... There's something at 22575. 500 lots there. How do you go? But isn't there a way to... I think that you have to like refresh or something. When you come in here and you do download instruments, how do you do I just have to say reload? Oh, there the Treasury went again. I'm surprised that the E-mini is not freaking out about that. Okay. Now if I do that 6E, better. Much better. Okay. Oh, we get an oil report here now, don't we? Oh, jeez. May still go, but there's just pushback on both sides here. So I felt like that was too much risk for the situation. Look at the 90 bid now. Well, yeah, there's some liquidity there. I'm kind of more interested in where there's not liquidity. And they're going down even though the treasuries are pulling back there. Whoa, what? Oh, man. Oh, man, them 10-year. It's just pulls. Funny. Hmm. It's still going. There's some absorption there at 05, but wow. Hmm. That Treasury is just destroyed. I really should have held that original trade longer. I should have just held it through the pullback, huh? Look at that. Hmm. The Treasury is just, oh my gosh, guys. It's just a bloodbath. What was the orange? Sorry. Haven't, wasn't paying attention to chat here. Oh, they were talking about Lulu. That's funny. Okay. There it goes. Well, the 10-year is kind of starting to look like it's gone too far. No. I guess not. Man, that came back so fast in the 10-year. Kind of looked like a stop run there in the E-mini. Now it's like just really calm. I shouldn't say calm, but it's a lot slower than it was, right? It still kind of looks downward biased though. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay. Still a lot of volume trading here in the 88, 87 area. 1.48% is the yield on the 10-year at the high of the day. A lot good. But they did pull back. I don't know. Okay. That was unusual. 841. You just take note of that. 841. We can come back and look at a one tick chart on that. Because that was all over the place. Hmm. Okay, well, that one was a little intense, but it all worked out. It all worked out. What's your source for the yield quote? It was just being quoted by Zero Hedge on Twitter, I believe. The 5-year rise is above convexivity threshold of 0.75%. If buyers don't emerge here, the Fed will have a nightmare on its hand. Is this for if you're, well, that's weird. It's a link that you have to log into, I guess. Hmm. Hmm. I have to say, some of the moves in bonds here today were quite dramatic. I wasn't necessarily seeing all of the volume, and I guess it's going to be hard to trade because of the rollover and everything, but it just is dropping and coming back so quickly. I haven't seen this much action in the treasuries in a very, very long time. And on one hand, I'm kind of excited to see them moving around a lot, but on the other hand, I'm kind of don't want to touch them because it's hard to catch a spot. Hmm. There's a big old sucker down at 38.85. Who would call me at this time? Probably another spammer. Oh, they ate through him easily. USTR nominee Catherine Tai tells Senate hearings says dealing with digital services taxes in other countries will require close cooperation within Biden administration. Senate hearing committed to cooperative multilateral efforts in OECD to deal with digital taxes. Well, that drop sure did happen quickly, didn't it? I don't know, though. It looks a little tired. I don't see aggressive buying coming in, but it looks a little tired. You know, something must be wrong with my moving average over on this one, because there's no way that there we go. Whoa. What the what? I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't think I've ever seen an explosion of volume off of the lows like that before. That was really something else. So they're fighting here for sure. Look at that. Well, well, well. I guess not. Hate it when I miss them like that. That sucks. Okay, well, that's a little bit stronger of a buy. Slightly. You know what? I'm doing this wrong. Fuck. Okay. Let's switch this. And as I'm watching this, I'm kind of just realizing that the what's going on between the bonds and the stocks is now starting to become more complicated than I'm able to really suss out. Okay. Okay. That's what I should have been doing this whole time. Is there a limit to no? You can link as many things as you want one. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to you guys in chat at all. Okay. Well, the Treasury sure came back hard, huh? The ultimate golden cross? What? Yeah. I think I could probably move that again. Yeah, look at the bonds right there. You're getting some support. So now the question is, do we do what we did in past days and it just becomes gangbusters on the upside again? Robin Hood has responded to Munger's comments the other day. In one fell swoop, an entire generation of investors has been criticized as this commentary overlooks the cultural shift that is taking place in our nation today. Yeah, but this doesn't mean that they're smart investors, dude. Robin was created to allow people who don't have access to generational wealth or resources to come with it to begin investing in the U.S. stock market. To suggest that new investors have a mindset of a racetrack bettors is disappointing and elitist, but they do. Should be celebrated. They were seeing market investors begin to diversify in the education awareness. Well, them getting involved in the market is great, but I don't think that he was saying that they shouldn't get involved in the market. I think he was saying that the trades that they're making are bad, and I agree with him. Okay, so they're coming up against that volatility stop. Or sorry, ATR stop. And they haven't quite cleared it yet.
Block sell.
Ooh, big old sell there, huh? In the 10-year. But it ticks up. Okay, so we got a spot there, 91. Well, GameStop hasn't done much for all of the hype, huh? Who's doing the worst? Tesla down 3%? OPLTR almost 5%. Well, the volume over here is still pretty chill. go. Okay, so we don't get a pivot now until 39.10. You think I can hold it all the way up to there? 39.10? Treasury is just hovering there around the 04 area pretty well. How do you add hyper? You have to be an admin. So I have the moderators set up so that they can. Some of those guys that have been here for a couple of years. I didn't know that Bloomberg had an economic calendar like that. Zero Hedge asks, what happens next? Did Tina just die? The 10-year Treasury yield has soared back in line with the S&P 500 dividend yield for the first time since January of 2020. So it appears that there is an alternative to record expensive stocks now? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh, they come back so fast. Ah, geez. Well, I thought I got one to run, and now they're kind of being difficult. Well, they're buying it back up really quickly, too. You think Gamestop? Oh, pretty big 5-minute candle, huh? Okay, new high. New pivot high, rather. Treasuries continue to run back, which is what I would expect. Just remember, the treasuries are very efficient. So they will get like really big trends and then really strong pullbacks. It's very rare that the Treasury just goes down and like just is able to stay down. Like you can't like just jump on the Treasury for momentum necessarily. You have to be at the beginning of it. Forks Live retweeting John Turek. Until today, the market had been bear steepening, not bear flattening. The later is a problem for risk and is inconsistent with the Fed's reaction function. For risk assets, it's really the composition of the rate sell-off that matters more than any levels. Oh, I see. So the fact that we are steepening in the deeper end of the curve, in particular, between the 10s and the 30s, for instance, that is not really very good. So you can see them coming back into this volume profile area, and there's a little bit of profit taking ahead of it. It does look like they're going to both pull through it, but this comes back to that volume profile thing where it's like when they enter into the profile and they stay there for a certain amount of time, they're likely to trace through the whole thing, which would take us to 3,900. It opens at 3,908. Fed's George talking and Quarles. Fed must consider technological changes and growth in non-bank finance and future changes to bank stress tests. There's a need for more data-driven analysis in bank supervision, says Fed's George. I don't know if the market was reacting to that or not. Well, there's some iceberg in there. Okay. Oh, I guess his full speech is available. Did Bullard just tank the bond market so shorts could roll out of March and into June? So what some people are asking? I don't get why they would say that. I think that there was anything that Bullard said that would move them. Well, I mean, I was listening to the things that they were saying, but I didn't really notice one, like, in particular. Well, let's come back here. Fitzgeorge speak. The big question about what happens to commercial property. A lot of the strength of households currently feel in their finances depends on the outcome of fiscal discussions. Commercial property could be used very differently. Covering a rough patch, but outlook for jobs not totally gloomy. Optimistic that vaccines, faster job growth of last May, June can return. I'm optimistic. Fed's mandate is full employment, not full GDP. GDP happening faster than rebound in employment. And then that was when their Coinbase IPO documents were coming out. Covering a rough patch now, but the outlook for jobs not totally gloomy. Subduing the virus is the top of the U.S. economic policy. I don't see where they're getting that from. Treasuries resumes light after 500k DVO1 Ultra 10-year futures block. Yeah, I don't know where they're getting that from. I see more inflation pressure in 2021 than in previous years, says Fed's Bullard. Yeah, thank you. We'll buy them metals up, please, for the inflation. Maybe, maybe not. Well, the treasuries are doing pretty well now. They're recovering this a lot. Man, it is such a long move down when you look at it. Remember that we were taking it like up in here. We could have held on to that for so much more. I'm really surprised how far it went. Oof, Gabby not doing so well now that I changed her, huh? Well, we should come back and do her again because the difference between the long or the short was like really, really tight. I think if I come back and I try some different filters, it might change it. Or I put some R square in there too, could maybe help. I really should just be over here in the treasuries, just doing one contract and just trying to hold it overnight. Well, it's too late now, but if I taken it up in here. Does COVID still matter? Asks Forex Live. Let's see. Bullard says Fed will be less preemptive to tighten than in past. Zero Hedge gives their translation. We want the mother of all asset bubbles. Okay. I love Robinhood lane message up now on the app exchanges, not Robinhood, are continue to place market-wide trading halts. Well, look at GameStop, by the way, the chart over there, like all of those tails and stuff. So I don't know if those were, maybe they're just options being traded or whatever, or OTCs, but I think that it's been oscillating back and forth. It looks like that the equities do want to come back up and make it back to the open, but there just hasn't been long enough. They're still kind of like recovering it out and just kind of chilling here. Okay, well, there was a quick little move down. Some absorption there. They're so desperate to not be hated. What, Robinhood? Well, did you guys see that interview between the Robinhood CEO and David Portnoy? I mean, I don't think that David Portnoy understands the issue as well as he should, about that they really kind of don't have a choice because the brokerage will fall apart, and that's not going to be good for traders. But at the same time, I'd say good for him for holding that guy's feet to the fire, because they were not honest with people about what was going on. If Robinhood had come out and been like, we are having liquidity issues and we're going to have trading shut down for several days or maybe even a whole week on GameStop shares, I think that a lot of retail traders would have reacted differently, right? And so I think that I'm very unhappy with Robinhood with how they handled it, for sure. That they had to halt trading in GameStop shares, it kind of seems like they had no choice, but their messaging was atrocious. Frankly, dishonest. Pelosi speaker, blah, 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 blah. Now that doesn't look so good. Says any issues with the $15 wager in the Senate, sounding confident that the House will pass the COVID bill. We'll pass a minimum. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but it's not going to pass the Senate. This one gets interesting. Why $15? You ever wondered that? Why $15? Because it's a nice round number that Bernie Sanders picked out? Or, is there like some calculation? I would think not, because if they actually did a calculation on it, I don't think they would come out to a round number like that. Yeah, that one kind of was allowed to come down. There's so much sideways and nothingness, and then this comes all the way back. And it's not the treasuries this time either. It could just be that the buyers were exhausted up there because they weren't really, I mean, it was up there for a really long time and they didn't really do anything with it, huh? At the same time, I've kind of been hands off with it because I haven't really seen anything too significant happening. Well, I know I've been really quiet for the last 5 minutes, but we've got we got 5 minutes left. That's so interesting that if I increase Gabby to 16, that she's done very, very poorly since. I can go back and back test it some more, but that's really curious to me. Well, on this side, she's doing okay, but not on this side for sure. Could also be a function of the micros, though. Maybe I should backtest it on the micros and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, you can get this spot at 38.92.50. Well, today seems different. Other days, then we would just be like gangbusters back up by this point, right? But not today. It's changed. So I don't know. Maybe they come back to the open, but there is some absorption there. Still in the 87 to 88 area where it was before. Obviously, spent way more time up in here, though. Oh, I should have noted that 97 was the seller position. Are you gonna take me out before we end here? Bears win, maybe. I mean, I did well enough on my Treasury trade that it doesn't matter what happened in the equities, but I'm a little disappointed. The thing that I'm a little disappointed in myself with is that if I had really just been taking the 16 tick, off of the initial signal, essentially, then I would probably be doing pretty good and I'd be pretty happy with it. But I've been trying to get them to run. And I'm getting them to run, but maybe not quite as far as I want, right? Like I want it to come back to the open. So that's kind of where we're at. But there was a little bit of finickiness there. I'm going to have to close this. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, guys, we'll see what happens Friday, and next week is going to be a doozy. I'm still kind of looking at it like, I'd say overall, I'm still doing really well. I'm not doing well on like both sides all the time, though, so I don't know. But I got some good signals, too. Some of these robots are starting to look a little positive. They all need work, but we need to do quite a bit more work on Gabby today. All right, guys. Well, what's next week is just we'll see if this Treasury stuff continues through, right? Because you got like with the weekly cycle, and given that the yields are like careening down on Friday, we want to see they still open up lower on Monday, Tuesday, and then how do the equities really react? Like at that point, do people really start doing big rebalancings? Like next Wednesday. That's where I would be looking, that maybe next Wednesday a lot of stock rebalancing happens. And definitely some of these tech names are getting hammered, right? I mean, look, Tesla's still down 3%. So, all right, guys. Well, and I'm sorry, it was maybe a little boring, but well, most of you guys are still here, so it's good. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Stay profitable.